Crafty Little Things. I'm Andrea, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these gorgeous little beanie hats. They're really super simple to make. This is the hat. I've done a few little different designs up to finish them off, but this is the basic hat itself. They're an adult size, and they'll fit men or women. And then I've added cute pom-poms to the top of them, and what I've done is I've used up yarn that I've had lying around for a while, or I've used up scraps like for this one to make a cute hat. This one's got a fold up brim. This one I've just used up some yellow and mixed it up with a bit of brown that I had left over, and I've used a pom-pom maker to make the pom-poms, just to make them a little bit more interesting. Oops, that one's lost its pom-pom. I don't know why they've lost the pom-poms, but never mind. Right, so what the reason I've made these hats is because there's another one there with a two-tone brown finish and then a lovely sort of chain edge. The reason I've made these hats is for a charity that helps the homeless over the winter months. I think they help the homeless over all the months, but over the winter months obviously they're handing out things that help people to keep warm, and a nice clean dry hat can, you know, help keep a bit of that body temperature in. And so I've made a selection just to donate. The reason this is for a specific charity in my local area, and the reason I've made these and I'm donating is because my nephew, who was 18, sadly passed away earlier in December, and he was very community spirited and community minded, and he was collecting things for this charity, and so we've carried on doing the work he started in his name. And I thought it might be nice to encourage other crocheters out there in the crafting community to just consider using up some stash and just making one of these simple hats and just donating it to somebody who's homeless, or to a charity, or making a smaller version and, you know, just giving it to Women's Aid or something to give to a kid in a refuge or something like that. So yeah, hopefully I can sort of spread a little bit of what he started a bit further than he imagined. So I'm going to do a tutorial on this. It is such a simple hat to make. A beginner could make it if they followed the Absolute Beginner series of videos on the channel. All you need to be able to do is to do a starting ring, whichever way you choose to do it, and double crochets, US terms, triples, UK terms. You don't need to add the pom-pom either, that's just, you know, an afterthought. A couple of these haven't got pom-poms on. And then you just need some DK yarn. You can use 2 strands of DK, or you can use a chunky or a super chunky, and you need a size 9mm crochet hook of any kind. And that's all you need to be able to do, basically. So I'm going to do a tutorial here on how to make the hat from scratch, and then I'm also going to put a pattern on my website which can be downloaded free of charge and used to make these cute hats to donate to any charity of your choice. It'd just be nice to know that, you know, that work he started has influenced a little bit of a chain reaction. So let's get started. Yeah, so you can either use a chunky yarn, or you can use 2 strands of DK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this chunky yarn, but if you were using 2 strands of DK, you can either, this is pistachio from Stylecraft, it's a gorgeous colour. You can either pull through, use your end and pull out in the centre. There's another strand, and you can just put them together and use them together. Or you can use 2 different types of yarn, 2 different colours, or 2 balls, or you can wind some off or whatever. And when you're sewing 2 strands together to just get that extra thickness, you just literally hold them together and you just do it exactly. You just stitch exactly as you would crochet, exactly as you would normally. So it's not anything really complex to do 2 together. But I'm just going to use up this white super chunky, which is 125 for 100 grams from Mariners. So to start off with then, you'll excuse my nails, they're an awful mess, but obviously you understand I'm not in the right frame of mind to be thinking about my nails. So you start off with a magic circle, or you can do a chain 4 and join with the slip stitch. So magic circle, how to do that is in my absolute beginners videos, so you can go back and have a look at that. But you lay the yarn over your fingers, cross it over, get a grip, and then I'm using a 9mm acrylic hook here, but you can use whatever type of hook you want. 9mm is good for this pattern though. And then under your first strand, pull through your second strand, and then under your second strand again and pull through, and that gives you your magic circle. And then what you want to do for round 1 is chain 2. Let me just pull off some yarn, because otherwise I'm going to be fighting with my tension and with the yarn ball itself. Sometimes I just throw it down onto the floor, especially if you've got a wooden floor, it'll help it slide about. So I've chained 2, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 9 double crochet, and that's in US terms, into the ring. So I yarn over, put my hook in, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, put my hook into the circle, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'll just carry that on until I've done 9 into the ring. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you just do your 9 and then join me when you finish your 9 double crochet, we'll go on to the next round. So there I've just done my 9th double crochet, so I have a chain 2 and then 9 double crochet, and I'm going to get hold of my straggler and I'm going to pull that together nice and tight to bring it into a circle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight over to the top of this first, not this chain 2, the top of my first double crochet, and I'm going to double crochet 2 into that stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, put my hook under those 2 parts of the stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through, so I've got 3 on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I'm going to put another one, yarn over, into the same stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2 double crochets into that one stitch. And now I'm just going to put 2 double crochets in every stitch around, and I'll end up with 18 double crochets. So 2 in that one, that gives me a total of 4. 2 in that one, which will give me a total of 6, and just keep on going round until you've got 2 double crochet in every stitch around, and then you'll have a total of 18 double crochet. And there we have 18 around. And so now we're going to do that again. We're going to put 2 double crochets into every stitch around. This was where you kind of reach across, and this is the top of your first stitch. So this is where you want to be going into, pulling your yarn through and pull through 2, pull through 2. Then yarn over into that stitch, pull through 2 and pull through 2, and you'll close this gap up. If you wanted to make little hats for preemie babies, because it's all based on the same principle, if you wanted to make hats for preemie babies, if you just did another row of double crochet, just one in each stitch, that would make a perfect little hat for a preemie baby. And see how simple and quick that would be. And then if you wanted to make one for a child, you'd go on to the next stage. So just bear in mind that you can alter this, you can start off in exactly the same way, but you can alter the size. If you were to do a row now of just one double crochet in each stitch, that'd bend that over and that'd make a little beanie for, you know, that'd keep a little preemie baby's head warm. So consider that. So you've got 2 in this one. Then we're going to put 2 double crochet in each stitch around again for a total of 36 stitches. Okay. So there we go, and this is the top, the top again of our first stitch. So now once you've got those 36, then what you want to do is just do 1 double crochet in each stitch around now. And now we're going to form, this is the crown of the beanie, and it'll start to fold over. Okay, so you just want to yarn over. Remember, this is where we're sort of stretching across to join. So pop into the first actual stitch, pick up some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then just go around 1 in each stitch. And what you want to do is go around 1 in each stitch until your hat is an appropriate size for whoever's going to be wearing it. So if it was for a child, you might only go around a couple of times. For an adult woman, you might go around 3 times, 4 times. For an adult man, you might go around 5 or 6 times. Just keep on taking it off, popping it on your own head. If you've got wig holders or mannequins, try it on those, try it on your family members until you get a good size. Remember, a beanie is supposed to sort of sit on the top of the head, the back of the head, not supposed to come right down over the ears and stuff. But if you want it to, just add more rows until it's as big as you want it to be. You can add more rows to make a turn up cuff for it at the bottom. So just keep on going until it's the sort of size you think is going to fit an adult head. And don't be put off by the first round. The first round will make it look quite sort of shallow, but keep on going. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stitch 5 rows. This is my first row. So I'm gonna stitch 5 rows of 1 stitch per 1 double crochet per stitch, and then I'll join you back and we'll see where we are. Okay. And so when you've done your 5 rows, just finish off with a slip stitch and pull through and snip off your yarn. Now what you can do is you can carry on like I said, so you'd pull that through, and you'd use a yarn needle to stitch that in, and then you'd also pull the top, pull it tight again, and then turn it inside out because that's the right side, and you'd use a yarn needle to sew that in as well. And I will show you how to do that in a minute. So there you've got your beanie hat, and that's an adult size. It's a nice big size. Now what you could do is you could add another couple of rows and do a turn up on the bottom. You could change colour and do a turn up on the bottom. You could change colour all the way through if you wanted and make it a stripy hat. You could crochet, if you're a bit more of an advanced crocheter, you could do a couple of rows where you crochet into the back loops only and get a little bit of a cable knit effect. You could put a row of single crochet to finish off, and you could do that in a different colour if you wanted. You could add a pom-pom like I did on some of mine, and you could make the pom-pom the same colour as the row of single crochet. There's so much that you could do. I'm going to add a pistachio pom-pom, and I'm going to add a row of single crochet, and then I'm just going to take 2 ends of my pistachio. Sometimes it helps if you keep them well apart from each other. And then I'm just going to attach them. I'm just going to turn this back inside out again so that I'm on the right side. I'm just going to put my hook through where I finished off and pull my 2 strands of pistachio through. I'm just going to tie those on the knot, 2 knots. And then I'm also just going to tie the end to the end of my white chunky yarn, just for added security. So that's not going to go anywhere. And then what I'm going to do, put those to the side because they'll get sewn in, put my hook in to where I've tied it off, and I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through, and I'm just going to chain 1. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the next stitch. I might even go into the next space actually. I'm going to go into the next space and I'm going to do a single crochet. So that's a single crochet, is just put your hook in, grab your yarn, pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2. Into the space, pull through 2. And I'm just going to go all the way, I'm going to go all the way around and do that just into the space. And then we'll see how it looks. If it looks ridiculous, we'll go back and do something else. And then when you get back to the beginning, just join with a slip stitch. What I'm going to do actually, I should have put a single crochet in the first stitch. I'm just going to put 1 in there and then join with a slip stitch to that next single crochet. Okay, so you will have 4 sort of strands to pull through, so you can cut those off, tie them all together, and then you can just work them in with your yarn needle. I'll show you how to do that. I don't think I need to show you how to do that. You just thread up your yarn needle and just lose it in your hat. And there we go, we've got a nice little trim on that one. And then if we wanted to make a pom-pom to put on the top, we could, and that would look really cute. So I'm going to make a pom-pom to put on the top. I'm going to make my pom-pom using my chunky white, and I'm going to use my pistachio to sort of thread through it as well, so that it's got some of both colours in the pom-pom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my chunky yarn. This will help to make the pom-pom really quickly as well. So I'm just going to get my chunky yarn, put my pom-pom holder together, maker together. Why do I keep calling it a pom-pom holder? And then I'm just going to wrap around and get that green mixed in with that white. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I just cut one side to the length of the pom-pom, and the other side I leave a little bit to fasten it together, and then trim it. If you want a really dense pom-pom, trim it down quite short, and if you're not fussy and you just want a nice fluffy pom-pom, just leave it like that. And then what we'll do is I'll just go in and sew in these ends. And now we're going to the top of the hat on the inside. when you've done a magic ring technique, you kind of automatically are sewing in your straggler, but I'm just going to sew this in again. So I'm just going to go straight across the top, and I'm going to put the hook through the needle through itself, pull it nice and tight, straight across the top again, and I'm going to put it through itself again just to knot it off. And then where I'd normally bury this now, I'm going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to pop my, I'm going to just pop these two ends of the pom-pom, pop them through the needle. I'm using a really massive plastic needle here because they're just so handy for these chunky projects. And I'm just going to put that straight through the middle of the hat, okay? And I'm going to pull it really tight, and then I'm going to tie it to the hat itself, you know, so to my straggler. Tie it really nice and super tight, and then I'm just going to trim these off, and then I'm just going to bury these. Rather than stitching into the hat, what you can do is you can just turn it back on itself and push it back through the pom-pom, and then you can just cut it off to the, so it becomes a part of the pom-pom. Okay. And there we have it, a beautiful beanie. Took about half an hour max, and that was with me giving directions. And like I say, you can add on more layers to the bottom if you want. You could put more green on, and then you could have a turn up, whatever you wanted. But that's a lovely hat, and you know, to give to somebody, just randomly gift to somebody just out of the blue, something that you've made because you care. Especially if it was done in my nephew's name, would be just lovely. You know, it'd just be nice to know that people are doing something, that his little legacy goes on. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me, and this pattern is going to be available in on my website as a free download, so please, you know, have a look at that.